In the quiet city of Waukesha, Wisconsin, something deeply unsettling was about to shatter the community's peace. In May of 2014, a 12-year-old girl named Peyton Leutner went to a birthday sleepover with her two best friends, Morgan Geyser and Anissa Weyer. It was supposed to be a night of giggles, games, and whispered secrets, a perfectly normal childhood memory in the making. But beneath the surface, a dark obsession had taken root in the minds of Morgan and Anissa. They had become captivated by an internet horror figure known as Slender Man. This faceless, towering shadow in a black suit was born from online creepypasta forums, a fictional monster created for spooky stories. But for Morgan and Anissa, Slender Man was disturbingly real. Over several months, they convinced themselves that this entity was not just a story, but an all-powerful being watching them from the forest. They believed he was demanding proof of their loyalty, a sacrifice of blood. In their minds, he promised to protect them if they obeyed, but threatened their families if they refused. This shared delusion had become their terrifying reality. The morning after the sleepover, with the sun filtering through the trees, the girl suggested a walk to a nearby wooded park. Under the pretense of playing hide-and-seek, their voices sounded calm and ordinary. They led Peyton deeper into the woods, towards a secluded area near a bathroom facility where the air felt heavy and the dirt smelled damp. And there, in a moment that would shatter childhood innocence forever, the plan unfolded. Morgan pulled out a kitchen knife she had taken from her home. As Anissa encouraged her, she began stabbing her friend, Peyton, again and again. The blade plunged into Peyton's body 19 times as she screamed in confusion and betrayal. The attack was both frenzied and terrifyingly deliberate. Morgan and Anissa believed this horrific act would allow them to become proxies of Slender Man, granting them access to live with him in a mysterious mansion they imagined was hidden deep in the forest. When they finally stopped, they left Peyton bleeding on the ground. They told her to lie still so someone would find her, then calmly walked away, believing they were beginning their journey to meet their fictional master. But Peyton refused to die. Despite severe wounds to her arms, legs, and torso, she began to crawl. Inch by inch, she dragged herself through leaves and mud toward a nearby road. Her vision was fading, but her will to survive burned brighter than the horror that surrounded her. By an extraordinary stroke of luck, a passing cyclist noticed her broken body near the path and immediately called for help. Paramedics raced her to the hospital, where doctors fought for hours to save her life. They repaired collapsed organs and dealt with severe blood loss. Astonished that a child so gravely injured could still whisper that her friends had done this to her. Meanwhile, police found Morgan and Anissa walking calmly along a highway. The knife was in Morgan's backpack. When questioned, they spoke matter-of-factly about their plan to find Slender Man in the Nicolet National Forest, hundreds of miles away. Their faces were expressionless, eerily certain that what they had done was a necessary act of survival. It was a chilling portrait of how an unchecked online obsession, mixed with untreated mental illness, can twist childhood innocence into unimaginable violence. As the investigation unfolded, the world learned that this was not a spontaneous act. It was the culmination of months of shared delusion. The girls had spent countless hours researching the mythology of Slender Man, whispering their plans during school. It became clear that Morgan, in particular, was displaying signs of a severe psychological disturbance, which was later diagnosed as early onset schizophrenia. Anissa, who struggled with a dependent personality and a desperate need for belonging, was easily drawn into Morgan's fantasy. During interrogation, both girls stated with unsettling calm that they truly believed the fictional character would harm their families if they failed to prove their loyalty. Murder, in their minds, was a necessary step toward becoming his servants. This revelation sent shockwaves through parents everywhere, who suddenly saw the internet not just as a source of entertainment, but as a potential doorway to immersive myths that vulnerable minds could mistake for reality. Initially, prosecutors charged the girls as adults with attempted first-degree homicide due to the brutality of the attack. However, extensive psychiatric evaluations revealed the true depth of Morgan's mental illness. She described having hallucinations, claiming she saw Slender Man watching her from the corners of rooms and communicating with her telepathically. This led to plea agreements where both girls were committed to mental health institutions rather than traditional prisons. Morgan received a sentence of up to 40 years in a psychiatric facility, while Anissa was committed for up to 25 years. Their childhoods effectively ended inside the walls of secured hospitals, where therapy replaced classrooms, and their names became forever linked to one of the most disturbing cases of internet-inspired violence in modern history. And what about Peyton? With remarkable resilience, she slowly began to rebuild her life. She underwent numerous surgeries, endured a long physical recovery, and faced the immense emotional challenge of knowing that her closest friends had tried to kill her. In the years that followed, she spoke publicly about forgiveness and survival, transforming from a victim into a powerful symbol of strength. The Slender Man stabbing case remains a haunting story, not just because of the violent act itself, but because it exposes the fragile boundary between fiction and belief in our digital age. It's a chilling reminder that stories created online can gain mythic power, especially when consumed without guidance. It shows how loneliness and untreated mental illness can turn a fantasy into a command. And it teaches us a terrifying lesson that sometimes horror doesn't arrive as a masked stranger in the night. Sometimes it arrives as two ordinary girls holding hands on their way to school, smiling politely while carrying a dark secret shaped like a shadow in the woods. Thank you for watching.